For the continuation of our report, by the way, my name is Ryan A. Gemida, and this is Perspective on Educational Programs, Research and Policy. Educational psychology has had a significant role in the development and reform of educational practice. An important contribution of educational psychology is the knowledge and guidance provided to the education of teachers. As noted from the previous reporter, courses in educational psychology are required in most university teacher preparation programs. An examination of introductory textbooks in educational psychology shows a strong preference toward teachers as their primary audience. Hoy of 2000 observed that it is through textbooks in educational psychology that we can see what the general public and teachers learn about the application of psychology to teaching and related educational activities. The significant breadth of methodological knowledge that educational psychologists bring to the political reform table has been influential in stressing the need for credible school-based intervention research. In this respect, educational psychology acts as the conduit to introduce and apply research and principles of psychology to educational practice. The role of educational psychologists will continue to be an important and credible voice in resolving ongoing controversies critical to the advancement and application of knowledge for educational practice. Learning and pedagogy in initial teachers' preparation. There is little doubt that teachers in most cases play the ultimate role in the education of children, a responsibility of innermost importance. Education of young people. Teachers are expected to be expert in classroom management, curriculum, and instruction, creating classroom environments that are physically and psychologically motivating and transmitting the knowledge. Learning to teach is arguably one of the most cognitively and emotionally challenging efforts one can undertake, and new teachers face greater challenges than ever before with today's diverse students' needs, public scrutiny, and political pressures. According to Derlin, Hammond, Way, and Jensens of 2009, Hess, Rutherford, and Wells in 2004, there is a critical need to prepare more teachers than ever before, and there are deeply divided ideas about best practice for initial teacher preparation. Whitcomb also reviews the empirical work on initial teacher preparation and the multiple perspectives that have emerged over the past 20 years on how to teach future teachers to teach. Derling Hammond of 2006 states that teaching is now viewed as a profession with a complex and distinguished knowledge base. Current research is focused on the integrated processes and judgment teachers use to navigate his breadth of information. From the early 1980s, educational researchers have focused on building an understanding of the specialized knowledge base required to effectively teach content in multiple ways to diverse learners. This work has been strongly influenced by the work of educational psychologists working within the social constructivist models that view physical and social context as an integral part of any cognitive endeavor. Research in this tradition stresses that the situations and social environments within which they are learned influence skills, and that such situated knowledge becomes a fundamental part of what is learned. Putnam and Borko of 2000 states that currently there is a move away from studying an individual teacher's knowledge to studies that focus on interactive systems as the unit of analysis. Most of their work has focused on the disposition that underlie good teaching, how teachers become committed to students, to meeting individual students' needs, and to monitoring their own and their students' learning. In this respect, teaching and teachers are viewed as part of learning communities that require judgment and ongoing, flexible decision-making to support student learning in culturally inclusive settings. Researchers are now examining how teachers learn to teach, how they actively construct a personal knowledge base and then use it to guide everyday classroom judgment and learning. These contemporary efforts are critically relevant to initial teacher preparation. Whitcomb describes the need for attention to critical research that demonstrates the effectiveness of teacher education programs, noting that the commonalities between these and the general calls for greater rigor educational programs. She describes this debate as illustrated in reports by the National Research Council, Shade Silson and Town 2002, Town and Wise and Wenders in 2004. Initial teacher preparation has substantially changed over the past 2 decades in multiple domains of instruction. Learning environments are developed and the changing influence of social and digital media on students as well as teacher learning is integrated into curriculums. Whitcomb, Borko, and Putnam in 1996 and also in 2000 examines that the field of initial teacher preparation and how this field determines whether a teacher candidate meets the standards of the profession. This latter issue is of a major importance given that the national mandates for student education, such as No Child Left Behind, include a significant focus on the role and competence of teachers in the education of students. The conclusion drawn from this review is that educational psychologists are in a unique position to influence and conduct rigorous inquiry that will further unravel the complexity of teaching and contribute to the development of effective initial teacher preparation models. Educational programs, research, and policy. Educational psychology has, for more than a century, been at the forefront in the development of research methodologies and statistics. Educational psychologists have been active in the fields of education, educational measurement, statistics, and research designs, in the application of these methodologies to educational programs and policies. Notable journals in this field include the Journal of Educational Measurement, Educational and Psychological Measurement, a Journal of Educational Statistics, Applied Psychological Measurement, Educational Assessment, and others that have as primary focus the presentation of new measurement statistical research methodologies. Of Levin and Catugwell, a provocative argument is made that stresses the need for credible, rigorous standards in the conceptualization, design, and evaluation of educational psychological treatments and intervention. Levin and O'Donnell in 1999, after reviewing the thoughts of many prior editors and presidents representing the field of educational psychology, noted collective concerns about the nature and quality of educational research and the preparation of the next generations of researchers. Educational psychology, more than ever before, is expected to improve our ability to understand, predict, and control human behavior as well as our ability to design instructional practices with potential applications to problems of schooling. In 1994, Whitlock recognized the inherent difficulties in conducting educational research and the importance of bridging many different communities across a wide array of academic disciplines. There was a call for a broader array of naturalistic and empirical methodologies, ranging from case studies and observations to multivariate designs and analysis. Contemporary methodological debates about qualitative and quantitative or applied and basic inquiry oversimplify and trivialize the issue of how to best obtain quality supportive evidence using a variety of rigorous inquiry standards that could be reflected in any methodological orientation. Acronym Careful research is used to review components of scientific integrity that can enhance the evidence credibility of educational research. A framework for conceptualizing different stages of such research is forwarded and promising methodological developments and instructional research are reviewed. Preliminary phases of inquiry place a fundamental value in subjective reflection, intuition, and observation as important steps for guiding further inquiry using objective, scientifically credible methodology in order to make valid prescription for future intervention. These authors also argue that just as medical research requires credible evidence of therapeutic benefits, so educational and psychological research. Indeed, as Levin 1994 eloquently argued, the future viability of the field will depend on our ability to craft educational intervention research that is both credible and creditable. A continuing conundrum for the field, the development of such innovative methodological continuums should become a top priority for future educational researchers. Likewise, the need to adapt educational programs and interventions that have a proved credible based on scientifically viable methodology continues to be a significant issue in education. Educational psychology and educational transformation. Educational psychology as a discipline has from its inception sought to inform and help guide education of students and the development of local and national education policies and reforms. Educational psychology has accomplished this by maintaining a strong linkage to credible school-based research and associated methodologies. Malcolms in this volume illustrates how research in educational psychology can be translated to changes in educational practice, with a particular reference to how teachers can be informed by research to modify and enhance their classroom and instructional procedures. 1997, McCombs and Whistler and Miller in 2007 discussed learner-centered instruction as a set of practices that are designed to enable teachers to gain an understanding of cognitive and metacognitive factors in learning, motivational and emotional influence on learning, developmental and social influences on learning, and individual differences in learning and evaluation. Principles were designed to provide teachers with a set of practices that focus on the learners, including an understanding of individual differences and diversity of learners and learner styles. These principles originated with the 1990 appointment with the American Psychological Association and a task force on psychology and education that sought to provide for the application of psychological research and theory of learning in educational context. Research over the past several decades on learner-centered practice that confirms the impact of teacher-centered instructions on positive students and teachers' positive emotions in school setting. This volume discusses current and emerging principles in the field that have been derived from more integrated educational psychological research appearing across diverse fields. The ideas just eliminated encourage both new and current researchers to engage in collaborative efforts using innovative research models and methods that have the greatest potential of impacting research, practice, and policy. Educational transformation ideas she has forwarded have a strong basis in new learning technologies and professional development models for the 21st century. Similar to research discussed by other contributors, McCombs notes that research continues to reveal the social nature of learning along with socio-cultural and other contextual factors. As example, she cites Lee and Schott of 2010 who reviewed personal and socio-contextual factors affecting the performance of K-12 children and concluded that personal factors, behavior, affect, attitude, and cognition as well as their socio-contextual environment as predictors work together to create optimal school performance, particularly in the areas of reading and mathematics. Chapter clearly delineates the interaction between educational research and policy and encourages both new and current researchers to engage in collaborative efforts using innovative research models and methods that have the greatest potential of impacting educational research, practice, and policy. Future perspectives in educational psychology. Contributors were asked to provide insights to what future Seven thematic areas were identified that are likely to continue to impact theory and application and to influence and inform educational researchers, practitioners, and policymakers well into the future. The issue within these areas uniformly surface across a majority of chapters and are considered due to their potential of advancing our understanding of individual learners and learning contexts, interpersonal, relational, and instructional processes, curriculum development, and teacher preparation. Implications are presented for translating theory into educational practice supported by exemplars posed by authors in this volume. A strong conclusion is drawn that the work of educational psychologists is likely to play an even greater future role in guiding 21st century educational policy and reform to improve schooling outcomes for all children. That would be all. Thank you for watching.